I'm okay. I'm reading this transcript and it's just fucking extraordinary that
Sorry, which one are you talking about?
I'm still, dissecting the 10th of October one, and there's just so much stuff to unpack here. At one fucking point in time, he's basically asking Lulu that, let's say, everybody accepts that they deliberately tried to embarrass Mr. Fuxal. He says embarrass rather than vilify the fucker. By getting Channel 9 in and so on. He says, but what if all of that was motivated by concerns that he was breaking the law? He says, why should I not dismiss the case summarily? Because they may have had concerns about what was being done. Not that fucking, not that, forget about the fact that even if I had broken the law, because they broke the law, they couldn't have prosecuted me any more. But he's not even saying that. He's saying, what if they had mistakenly suspected that I had broken the law?
To start with, there was no evidence laid about any.
That's not the point. I mean, it's a fucking judge, and this makes it clear what he knows. I mean, McAuliffe said that plainly, and then Gorton puts to her, and he's not even asking whether this is not even a question of whether there's a. I mean, it's ridiculous to even say this, but it's not a question that whether there's a consideration that the court should give to that at all. It's about whether the matter should be summarily dismissed. And this is what Lulu says. She says, well, then obviously there is something that you have to consider and you can't dismiss the matter summarily. I mean, it's a good thing that he kicked me out, honestly, because I wouldn't even have let him complete those incriminating fucking sentences.
It's quite extraordinary to pull that one out, given, as I said, they've never led any evidence that was the case. So why would that arise anyway?
No, but it's not even about that. Like, a judge cannot say that, what if the police shot him because they were basically concerned, without any basis.
No, but that's exactly what I mean. He's got no basis for saying a thing like that.
Yeah, but the point is also exactly. Yeah, he's the one who's raising it. They're not.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm just it's fucking, and I mean, we're gonna write a very nasty email to him. Like, it's gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna write it, but you're gonna circulate it to everybody about the LSP effectively. But what I'm going to tell him is that, if I had his weak constitution with my moral outrage, I would have actually broken laws that day if I was in the courtroom. It's just, I mean, he's gonna get fucked by the Judicial Commission at the very fucking least. There's no way they're not going to do something about this after we put it all over the media. And I mean, I'm also going to criticize the court administration for not fucking training him. No, I mean, first they bring in an idiot from, forget about the fact that he was working for WorkCover. If he had just paid attention in school, not even university, some basic concepts about due process, and if you read literature, you would know about, the fact that means are important. It's not just about the end.
Yes. I understand that.
This is beyond a fucking travesty.
I think what you're saying is it's been a fairly common complaint in the profession for a long time, is that people have been promoted not based on ability. that's, I think you find that's a common criticism. There's been a criticism.
Yeah, but I mean, that is to say that there are more deserving people. But this asshole is so far beyond the minimum threshold that, I mean, you would take away his license if he wasn't. I would literally not stop until I had disciplinary orders made against him if he was a lawyer. I mean, technically, he's still a lawyer. You know, Hayden had to, after the accusations were made, his practicing certificate was never renewed, or he never applied for the renewal of his practicing certificate, even though he was a retired judge. And I mean, I don't know if his practicing certificate exists or needs to be renewed, but this is just fucking ridiculous. Like, if McAuliffe had said these things, I swear to God, I mean, I'm already going after him. But even he wouldn't dare say the things that Gorton is asking on his behalf or on his client's behalf. I mean, Hogan definitely wouldn't. And I mean, I saw a podcast today about a woman in America who's doing basically the same thing that I want to do here. And she was a lawyer and former associate for the Supreme Court justices, like their Supreme Court, not so like the High Court here. And she started basically a podcast where she discusses cases, and she's very abusive toward the judges. And basically what she's saying is that what I wanted people to do is be more abusive toward judges and criticize them more, and like the whole accountability argument. So it's a very popular podcast right now.
I don't think the term abusive is helpful, but certainly be more critical of them. I don't think you want abusive.
Well, it's about provocation. It's about provocation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's not. You don't want to. It's not good language to use. You are still talking about a system that requires a degree of respect, etc.
I think in activism, I'm not saying we write submissions to that effect, but what I'm saying is that you get attention by being provocative, which you can use to proper means. And you don't get this sort of attention if you're, I mean, with us, none of this would have happened if I wasn't abusive. It's a fact. It's a fact of law. I mean, he would never have been under so much pressure if I had not been abusive to him. It's a fact. I mean, that was the whole part.
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, all that would have happened was he would have just said, well, this or that, and then just dismissed the case. But because I called him a scoundrel, said that he was openly doing their bidding, and so on and so forth, then he had to ask these questions out fucking loud. And it's just ridiculous. And I mean, I'm sure next time when there's a discussion about judicial immunity, the side arguing against it would definitely raise Gorton's example. Once it's in the public domain, there is no fucking doubt that people will definitely use his example to point out the need for. And by the way, do you know what? Gorton is the perfect fucking stereotype for the he's the perfect specimen for the stereotypical corrupt guy in government departments. So I told you that they have a profile for who the most likely corrupt person is, and it's Gorton. Like every fucking demographic criterion, Gorton meets. White, middle-aged to like getting old, has a job with a discretion, which is a huge thing, is well connected, again, huge thing, and not very fucking thorough with everything, and people pleaser. Every fucking box that there is, he ticks them. And ASIC has also created well, it has adopted the profile that the scientific community has produced through the researchers. And so even on the ASIC website, when they talk about who typically embezzles from companies and blah blah blah, it's Gorton, basically. All the fucking criteria he meets. And I'm gonna put that in the letter too, that it's such a fucking cliched thing that's completely unclimactic. So, and I'm going to mention did you do the thing with Thomas says, right, that Gorton probably is participating in the prostitution and stuff, right?
Yeah, he did make adverse comments about him. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and I'm going to mention that to Gorton, and I will tell him that every time someone says something like that, I instantly check them, because I think it distracts from the real fucking crime that he's committing. But I mean, it's not just him. It's Serene Tefaha. Darren Walsh obviously has things to say about Gorton, and what's his name? Glenn Tex. I mean, no sensible person could read what he has done and think this is an honorable judge. I mean, he himself doesn't fucking think that. That's why, do you know, like, honestly, on the 1st of October, I told him that the last time I accused you of acting so horribly that it could not be conclusively determined whether you were actually taking bribes. I literally say that to him. And, I mean, this is what I'm saying. So I was raising it in the context that he never fucking addressed that in his reasons. I was saying that he committed fraud because he never addressed that in his reasons, and he again didn't address it in his reasons. So that's basically the fucking... Now, two things. One, the constitutional notice issues. If I raise it in the injunction proceeding, there's a possibility that it will delay that proceeding, because technically, if the issues are genuinely touching on constitutional grounds, the court cannot do anything until the Attorney General intervenes. And they are definitely constitutional questions, because I have authorities where they were raised and they were all constitutional questions. So we're not going to raise it in the injunction proceeding. As a constitutional matter, we will raise it as a matter that the court needs to determine, and we'll say that these are the questions that the court needs to determine first, because if the court determines that, then everything gets solved. So they're called separate questions. We can raise them as separate questions. We will lodge this as a constitutional question in the bankruptcy proceeding, because what they have said is that we're trying to disrupt the bankruptcy proceeding by doing those things, and we're saying that was contempt. That was a contempt of court by disrupting. So what everybody needs to address or have a right to address is whether those things can be true, because if they cannot be true, then it's clearly contempt. So, yeah.
Sorry. No, I'll call you back. I just got my boss calling.
Sure. Cheers. Bye.